There we go. All right, Tim, what are we doing here today?
Well, it's finally time. The last video, you seen us get the head studs done, fuel pump,
Injectors.
big injectors, drain the fuel tank. We got all that done. Now, it's time to swap the turbo. So, Sandblaster Stage 6 off Will's machine, because in one of our videos you've seen us upgrade that. Evo intake. I've already got all the other parts that we need on here for that. But we're going to go ahead and get this turbo and intake installed.
Yeah, we've never showed you guys like from start to finish.
Yeah, so we wanted to make sure that on the last video we showed you head studs and fuel pump and injectors, because that'll basically go along with the last video and this video. But we were in depth with the last turbo install, so basically you're just going to hang out with us today and have a good time. We're going to do it. We will in depth, show you how to take the intake off, what it takes. We'll get it personal with that, but might not get as personal. We're going to have time lapse running.
You get personal with that intake tube?
I will get personal with that intake tube. It is pretty nice.
Yeah,
but let's get this rolling. I'm going to go fast again.
All right. You never went fast in the first place.
Well, I did in your machine.
Oh, you got that. I'll give you that.
Alright guys, so I got they're up there at the top on the turbo. There's that bolt there that you see right there, and then there's another one below it. You pull those two bolts out, and then down here by your engine mount, right in there, you got that bolt and that bolt. If you pull, well, let's see. Yeah, it is those two bolts you pull. They're 15 millimeters. You have to get a wrench on the backside. It's probably easier with two people. Well, for sure is with two people. And then you just get a ratchet or impact on this side, pull those out, go to the other side, pull the other two out, then that bracket will come out. And in our last big turbo video, we didn't show you how to modify that bracket to go around the bigger turbo. So in this video, we'll show you that as well.
Alright, so we fished that bracket right there out of there. So you got the four bolts on the bottom, you got a couple up top. So we pulled that out of there. Alright guys, so we're disconnecting the wastegate right now, pulling all that apart. So we'll continue with the time lapse, but figured we'd give you an update.
Alright, Tim, what are we doing here?
Well, we're trying to get these
bolts loosened up to hold the fingers, which hold the turbo into the exhaust housing. So I think I only have one more down below. I got the oil return line off. I got the oil feed line off.
You want to show us your customized wrench here?
Yeah, so when you get down there by the oil return line, and even right here by the inlet, I just tapered it out a little bit.
Yeah, I took one of his old wrenches and just gave it a little angle there.
So took I don't know, 3 turbos like this off. So
yep, you got the tools to do it now.
All right, so got turbo out of here. Make sure you get all your fingers out of here. You got a boost reference line that's into the side of it, driver's side of the turbo. Then your charge tube, loosen that up, and your intake clamp. And oh, you got a wastegate vacuum line. Did you get those off? You're gonna have to take and knock it loose a little bit. It gets stoved up in that manifold. Other than that, the turbo's out. You can see them sitting here next to each other.
Yeah, so in the other video, we had the comparison between this one and the Dynamite, which you could see the differences, but yeah, you guys can see the difference. All right, guys, this is the 2 turbos side by side. So I paused the video there to kind of show you what was going on. So this is what we were talking about before. It kind of has a tendency to want to slide off of here when we put that charge tube on there. Well, actually, the charge tube goes on this side. This will be the intake. So this one's got a little bit more of a flange. We figured out if we get a smaller clamp and we really get it back here a little ways, that's our best bet for that.
The clamp is sitting right.
Oh, there you go. This is the clamp we ended up using on mine. So just a cheaper, smaller clamp, and that way it can go on there and it gets a nice bite on there. But we had a lot of good luck with this turbo, so you can obviously see that this is a lot bigger than the other one. And if you guys want, in our other video, I'll go ahead and link it at the end of this one. I'll go ahead and link up where we compare this turbo with the Dynamite. So if you guys are looking around, considering doing big turbo, that'll be one of your options. Yeah.
All right, so for the intake, you got the clamp up there on the top of the tube going to the air box. It's gonna be 11 millimeter. Pull that. Then obviously you have an 11 millimeter clamp going on to the inlet of the turbo. Then up here, stuff's gonna be kind of hard to see, but there is a sensor up here at the top side. You just push the clip and pull it off. That gets that out of the way. If you have a stock blow-off valve, this hose is not going to be plugged, and it's going to be plugged into the blow-off valve. So you'll have to undo the clamp that goes to your stock blow-off valve and pull it off there. I have mine vented to the atmosphere to where this is plugged. Then you have another crankcase vent right here, this line. I'm gonna pull the intake down, and while it's right here in front of me, I'm gonna cut it off because I think it's a pinch clamp. But I already started to pull this loose. I got some wires down here in my way from things I've wired in. But there's the clamp, and then see, that's a pinch clamp. So we're gonna cut that off, pull that off. We're gonna have to cut that off too. I'd prefer to get rid of that because I don't really need it if I could find a way to plug it off. I guess I could take a short piece and plug it off right there, so it isn't a hose just hanging around. That hasn't been on there for 2 years.
Yeah.
So
I think you got to take that off, right? Put it on the new one.
Yeah, the sensor's got to come off and go on the new one.
Yep.
So gonna go ahead and start doing that. I'll cut this off and show you when we get it out. All right, guys. So we're gonna compare this Evo charge tube. So it's a silicone charge tube. This is just a piece of plastic, it's like an accordion. But you can see how this is steady and then ramps up right here, and it consistently ramps up all the way around. This traps your flow. It slows down the airflow through there. So something that is smooth all the way through is obviously going to be less restrictive and better. But we're going to have to take this sensor off and put it here. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do here because I need to use the plug. But these clamps will still go back onto this and be used here. And yeah, but this is just a cheap piece of plastic.
Yeah, they're prone to breaking too if you
Yeah,
you know,
cracking,
a lot,
you'll have
yeah, cracking,
and
yep.
stuff.
So better just go with something that's.
I mean, the charge tube that's
hold
on
up
here
better.
is silicone and built the same way.
Yep.
And these, we haven't seen any problems with these silicone charge tubes or intake tubes. I did notice with the aluminum one, with a different company, the spark plug wires go over the top of the aluminum
And the charge tube.
because it's basically got rubber boots that go to the throttle body and to the turbo, and then a big aluminum tube. And the wires just sit on there, and it chafes the wires and causes misfires and check engine lights. And had a lot of bad luck with the aluminum charge tubes on somebody else's machine. So
Yeah.
but
So better off with the silicone for sure.
yeah, silicone has been the way to go for, I don't know, I think we did yours either 2017. So got the map sensor in here. Got the crankcase vent line set up here. This is for the blow-off valve. There's really no sense for that hose to just hang there and have to be zip tied up. So I just cut a
Made a
piece of
shorty.
hose, and it already had the aluminum plug with the blow-off valve, so I did that. I have the original upper clamp, and this is the clamp that works the best for this. And I mean, I might be able to even show you here. So that goes all the way in there, okay? So the problem with this is, see how big and bulky this clamp is? So this clamp, there's not really any good way for it to actually go on.
Yeah,
there.
right in here it's really tight.
Yeah, and it hits. So you can't get the wrench, to get the socket on here or the wrench on here, to actually have this slide all the way up and tighten it down was really a pain. So that's why we use this clamp, and this will slide all the way down here. And I think it got in here the closest. Now, I might have it, I might have to flip it.
Yeah.
But that was what worked the best for us.
Yep.
But all this is ready to go back in. I don't think there's anything else we need to do except for try to... The little fingers like to move as you try to slide the turbo back in. So as you slide it in, you'll have to move them, and then it'll go all the way in. You can turn it.
It's always nice to have a second set of hands too.
Right.
And then he kicks the chair. Alright guys, so this is, I took this image off of my other phone, so that way we can kind of get an idea.
Yeah, so this is the bracket we cut for Will's machine 2 years ago. When we did that bracket, we had a somewhat of a template that came with the instructions. We don't have those anymore. So we're kind of just basing it off some measurements here. And so we obviously know that it's curved pretty sharp around that eyelet, so we're just going to try to get it as best we could. I think we're going to try to follow.
It might take a couple times where you got to put it in place, see how it looks, see if you can get the bolt in there. And then if you need to, you might have to take it back out a couple times and clearance it. But that should get us really close. If not, good to go. I mean, we'll see what happens. So,
Right.
But that way you guys got an idea what you got to do with this bracket.
Alright guys, as you've seen in that time lapse, I took and made my mark obviously, and then I took a cutoff wheel and I just made slits all the way up through here, like a little pie. And I come around this with a cutoff wheel, made my marks, got it to rough shape, and then cut the pie out. Once I got the pie cut out, and all I did was take it to the belt sander real quick. You guys seen that on time lapse, hopefully. Turned out good. One cut, one belt sand, done.
guys, the oil return and feed are both hooked up. We got the charge tube hooked up here. Got a good clamp on her, so we'll see how it holds up. You got your boost reference line is hooked up. You got your wastegate line is hooked up. So we're working on the intake right now, and then we'll be ready to get the tune in it and then get her fired up. All right, guys, one of the last steps here. Go ahead and getting her loaded up with a E85 tune. So we'll have this done here shortly. Usually takes about 3 or 4 minutes. Give me a thumbs up, Tim. All right, Tim. What did we figure out?
Well, we figured out she runs.
Yep, she runs good. Started up first crank.
We fired it up a few minutes ago, but checked it for oil leaks. Everything's good. Everything's hooked up. You know, boost reference, wastegate. You know, you got to double check everything. Return line, feed line, charge tube, intake. Just go over everything, double check it. Everything on this seems good. All I have left is heat shields. I'm gonna take and wash my air filter and my pre-filter on my blow-off valve. And yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. All right, guys, so we're out here. Obviously, the Evo big turbo swap video has been a little delayed. Come out here to the field, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, to try to shoot an after video, get some times. And all this power broke the motor mount. So I'm still waiting for the new one, but
yeah, we're gonna.
If you look right in here, it snapped the tube right there at that brass looking bracket, which is, you know, it's a zinc coated bracket, but I recentered the bracket, took it out, recentered the bracket, and welded it back together. And we're gonna send it today. And
so you guys can see, lots happened since then. So we did an enclosure on the thing. We're gonna go over that stuff later on.
That'll be its own
so
video.
Yeah, it's gonna be its own video, but we figured, you know,
while it was sitting there idle,
you guys will probably notice it, you know, but we're gonna make that its own video. It'll
nice
actually be
warm today.
Yeah, there you go. But it'll be after this video, of course, but that's why everything kind of got delayed a little bit.
I don't recommend fixing the motor mount, but I did what I had to do to try to get this video done. It's good. If it breaks, it breaks. We're not jumping. We're not doing nothing like that. We're just trying to get these times down. And that's what we come out here to do the last time. And we were ripping it around the field, and then all of a sudden it was,
within, I don't know, 5 minutes.
We were in the process of building a jump.
Yeah, yep.
So, is what it is. But here we are. And
you weren't even doing anything with the jump, though. You're drifting a little bit in the corner. And
we were just ripping.
Yeah.
But I got her back, and we're going to try to get our times done today, and then we'll do a video on the enclosure. And yeah, we ain't got many nice days left, so hopefully we can get this done.
Yeah, we're trying to do the best we can with the weather. So
I want to get the E85 out of this thing for the winter, and I want to get the rest of my other stuff done so we can go rip some snow.
There you go. All right, guys, we're out here. He's making his rips, going back to the same spot he was in before. It's been a little bit since we've been out here, but I mean, the weather, to be honest with you, is probably about the same. It's pretty chilly out here. Well, he shut her down a lot sooner than he was, that's for sure. We'll see what happens. All right, so that one he said he spun pretty bad, so we'll see what this one looks like. Sounds rowdy. Yeah, it shut down a little earlier than normal. All right, how was it, Tim?
It was a big difference. So with just a stage 3, the machine couldn't, with these 32s, just, it wouldn't like spin all 4 tires. I'm gonna tell you right now, down there at the strip, as a starting point, is just ate up, and I am just spinning nasty out of the hole in 4-wheel drive with these big tires. It's a big difference. I don't know. We're gonna go down here.
It sounds like it's right out of the hole. It's hitting hard.
It's like almost
instant. Yeah.
Yeah, and then lighting on fire. Now, there's still a lot of things that need to be done.
We haven't done any clutch tuning on this. We haven't done it. It's literally the same as it was with stage 3. So he doesn't know where. Did you look at the RPMs on that one?
I did look at the RPMs. They are still, like, right here when I passed you, I want to say they were like 8750.
Okay, so they're high.
Yeah,
it was like 8200 before.
Well, it keeps creeping up. The further I go, the more they're creeping up.
Okay.
So they're starting out real low.
Yeah. It's still set for that stage 3 power, and
yeah,
you got the big power.
That's all right. That stage 3 power never turned these tires like that, I promise you. Like, at this telephone pole right here, I was normally wondering if I'm ever going to get to 60 miles an hour. So I don't have a problem. 60 miles an hour is like that now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
I just think next winter maybe we'll do the dynamite kit on this thing, and you can get even more power.
I think we just keep. I'll take your parts. You run them for a season. I'll take your parts. You go bigger, and we'll just keep sending them both.
There you go. All right, well, let's go run this thing one more time. I mean, he's shutting down probably right about here. You know, where before he was probably clear out to here before I would hear him start decelerating. So let's see what these times come back as, and we'll let you guys know.
All right, so I want Will to guess this time. Now I'm gonna tell you, it's making big jumps every time I run it. Now I finally got a little strip beat in down there.
Yeah.
I'm getting some traction.
Yeah.
But what's your guess? This second hit.
610.
6.0 flat.
Nice. Okay. So what were we running before? Stage 3.
6.5.
650. Okay.
Yeah.
So half a second.
With stage 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Now we're still not dialed.
Nope. Yep. So we still got a lot more to go. So I mean, we picked up a half a second.
I think my hits are getting better. So.
You want to try for 5?
Oh, we're going again.
Okay. All right.
We're going again.
What RPMs did you say you're at?
88 to 8850. I just seen right here passing you again.
Okay.
So they're still super high.
Yeah. Yeah. Real high. We need a little more weight in it. So.
But we're going to go ahead and hit it again. And I will say that this is really warm, Will. You're out here in 39-degree weather, 38-degree weather, and I'm toasty.
Yep.
With no heater.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can get that 5.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get that number he's striving for here. What was that look?
That was kind of a shock, but all right. So down there, let's say just passing the first telephone pole, which is quite a bit of ways, I'm at 8,200 RPMs out of the hole. So
okay.
I'm real low out of the hole.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yeah.
I would say that's real low. And then coming down here, I'm still seeing above 8 down here. So
above 8?
Above 8 grand, or 88.
Okay, 88. Okay.
So I'm 82 basically out of the hole, and then it just lights up. Once the tire starts spinning, it goes. But what's your guess?
Let's say 590.
590 on the head.
Nice. Let's see if we get the focus.
Is it verified too?
Yep, verified. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just cranking them numbers down.
Yeah, yeah. So we picked up 610s.
I want my machine dialed on paddles, everything on point, and hitting 4s. Okay. I'm saying it right now. It is December, beginning of December.
By next summer, you want to be in the 4s.
Next summer, I want to be cranking 4s. It might not. We might have to get through spring so we get some sand to test in. But by the time stuff starts popping off,
Hashtag goals.
Hashtag goals 4s. It might be 1 underneath 5.
Yeah.
But I want 4s.
Yep. All right, I think that pretty much does it for this video.
One more hit. They're moving pretty good.
Okay. All right, we'll do one more.
I still got 2 bars of fuel. You know how it is.
I know, you roll around on 2 bars. All right, how'd you run?
All right, Will, what's your guess?
Ooh, I'm gonna say it did the same. I'm gonna say 590.
587.
Okay.
She's coming down.
Yeah, coming down slowly but surely.
She's coming down.
Yep.
So, and we can, this isn't really the idea. We're not really trying to get times. All we're showing you here is we went from
improvement.
We went from one stage 3 to another stage 3 to this stage 6 Sandblaster. Unfortunately, you guys can't get that kit no more unless you buy it used.
Yeah, but they do have the dynamite available.
Dynamite,
yeah.
You know, they has improved a lot of things. But you can't accurately take these numbers because I'm not going to be running these tires. I'm not going to be running this clutching.
Yeah.
This is just a comparison for the 3 running the same things.
Yep. Yeah, so we mentioned before, you know, it's got bead locks, it's got 32-inch tires. I mean, they're 8-ply, they're heavy. 8-ply or 10-ply, whatever they are.
8-ply tires, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they're crazy heavy tires. I've just got it back here on the trailer, just double checking over. I ain't really got to rip this thing since we put this big turbo on, so just making sure there ain't no oil leaks or anything like that. Everything seems to be
Motor
fine.
mount's holding up okay now?
I mean, I ain't even look at that.
Holding up to that Evo power?
Yeah, I mean, it's, the weld's probably 2 times as thick as it was originally.
Yeah, for sure.
Turn this light off here. But that's a big difference. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're talking 650 down to 580.
And to be fair, to be really fair, I think we've actually added weight to this machine since we did those numbers.
Yeah.
We just did a video on these trailering arms.
Yep.
These were 30 pounds heavier compared. The two together were roughly 30 pounds heavier.
Yep.
So we added that. We've added a cage. So I mean, I'm not going to really count that. These are going to be on here, but we are going to really try really hard to get this thing dialed in. We are taking extra measures to really dial these things in and be able to read the data log and know what the clutching is doing every split second. So it's going to be a total game changer, and I really am happy with how this has turned out. My wife, you know,
I told you once I went big turbo, I said it's only a matter of time before you go.
Listen.
Even your wife warned you. You said it's only a matter of time.
I've been down for big turbo, and you know, April was like, "Ah, you don't need that." But I told her, "Hey, I'm buying a big turbo." She's like, "I expected that."
Yeah.
So she knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. But I've rocked, you know, 3,600 miles on stock turbo. Haven't really ever had any problems with this machine besides trying to get some shocks dialed in. And I mean, and recently at, you know, 3,500, 3,400, 3,500 miles, I had the trans go out. But how much did I beat on it?
Yeah.
So this machine has been very reliable, and it's going to continue to be. But make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. You know, comment. Tell us what you guys want to see. Tell us where.
Any suggestions?
Yeah, give us suggestions on where to go or what to do, or what kind of upgrade you'd like to see. And if we're interested in that type of upgrade, we'll do it. We'll show it to you. You know, like I've had a lot of people. You know, I see a lot of people on these forums commenting about enclosures and different stuff like that. And I haven't done a video on it yet, but I suggest this enclosure, and that'll all be detailed in the next video. So stay tuned. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yep, for sure.
I mean,
to the point where we're overwhelmed.
We've already done so much to both of these machines in the last 2 months. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And crazy to think that you probably won't even recognize this machine next year. Let's put it that way.
Yep, there you go.
So,
all right, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.
we want to do some winter rides, but we need an enclosure. Now, obviously I still got to do a new cage, but I'm going to do the same one. So I had a custom enclosure made, and let's see if I can open this box up here.